Something.
Alright, what's up everybody? It's your boy homergogo here. We're here today with a special guest. It is
JacobisGeorge, and it's been about, I don't know, maybe a year or two since I posted anything on my channel, and I wish I could say it's because I'm busy, but
he made a video about living in a car and it kind of blew up, so he's a big deal. We're gonna put a link to his channel right down here in the below. And yeah, so this is JacobisGeorge. Last time we made a video together was about 6 years ago when he was about my age, and now we're like I'm in the real world.
just older.
We're just What are we talking about? Like East Coast versus West Coast.
East Coast versus West Coast.
That's good. That's a good topic because I think that was already a topic that I've wanted to do for a while. In this video, we want to kind of do like a back and forth discussion about how people are here in the East Coast versus the West Coast, and lifestyles and stuff like that, and how people are interpreted.
Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
What you laughing at?
Tell me because you had a really interesting opinion about like how people here in East Coast are like really
Traditional. I would say they're way more traditional. They're way more set in their ways. So if you don't fit into that set tradition, you kind of get some weird looks, weird judgments, weird like, oh, okay, I don't know what this guy's on about. If you're on your own vibe, and if it's kind of strange, but there is some element of like interestingness or novelty or whatever that's the special thing that you have in your own way of doing things. If that's there, you will find people who appreciate you and who fuck with you for sure. But there are a lot of people who still tend to believe that like, yo, this is like the right way or like the main way, and like everybody else on their own, like off the main road, is kind of, I don't know, it's just autism. Like it's cool, but it's not really
autism.
It's not really right. Yeah, I don't know if that's right, but there's just more judgmental people out here for sure. I mean, yeah, it's just more traditional.
I remember I was at work like last week, and I was talking to a guy that works in my building, and he was like looking at a book that was in the building, and it was like Etiquette, New York Etiquette. It was
New York Etiquette.
It was like a silly book. It looked like a comic book. It was like a silly comic book looking thing, but it was like things you have to do in New York, like the way you have to.
Oh, yeah, like you have to. That's the thing. You have to do that. Yeah, no, New York definitely has an etiquette. There's definitely a right way to do things, or the mainstream way, and Cali is kind of like, oh, do you, bro? Like, oh, that's so cool. Like, there's a lot more non-traditional people there. It doesn't matter what culture you are. It doesn't matter. The East Coast in general, not just New York, like the East Coast in general, has a certain type of person. You have these specific things that you need, and if you don't have that, it's like
you're fucking weird.
You're weird unless you have something better than that. And
there's like some hierarchy. Like
there's a very set hierarchy. Whereas on the West Coast, it's like, and people damn, you could have been a crackhead like 3 years before, but then like, oh, I got my shit together. Like I lived out of a van. I like, you did whatever the hell you needed to do to get by, and then you founded some like startup. You founded something.
Now you're a cool dude.
Now you're fucking rich dude. Like you started a startup, you sold it to Google, you're fucking millionaire. Right. And people are like, yo, that's tight. Whereas on the East Coast, I'd be like, you're kind of a failure. Like you slipped up doing drugs. You slipped up doing this. Whereas on the West Coast, it's like,
you made it up. I was talking to my coworker, and she's like saying how she has a lot of friends in Cali, and her perspective was, as her growing up here in New York for all of her life, from her perspective, Cali people like to sugarcoat stuff a little bit and be like, oh, it's all good, everything's gonna be good.
True,
there's optimism, like there's
not even optimism, it's more avoidance.
Yeah, right. Like, but then New Yorkers are like,
nah, fuck that.
Yeah, they're kind of the bullshit. Yeah, kind of the bullshit. Like
I do like that because people tend to really figure out what they kind of want. The thing is, West Coast so chill,
right?
But like Julian said, it's all about the non-confrontational, the agreeableness, and a lot of people will say that shit, but in their back of their mind, they'll be like, that's not actually cool.
Just to kind of wrap it all together, you're trying to move here, and you kind of have a concept for like some ideas for videos and stuff for your channel or whatever that you'd like that connects to this whole thing about people here, right? Like
if you want to be like an edgelord and just be like, yo, like just stir shit for no reason just to see people get a little antsed up,
right?
Oh man, New York is so, the more rigid your mental hierarchy is.
You're in a cube. It's
like
so
this is the right thing. Like this
over
on
like
the West
in the
Coast
West Coast
is hard.
Like, oh, it's okay.
It's just easy to like push people's buttons here.
Right.
Because people are a little more set
So
in
you
what's
think
right.
we didn't even do like an outro for that last one?
That's the best part. There's no outro. You just could end at any fucking moment.
It just goes
Literally, like,
it's
just
cuts?
right in the middle of a sentence. and that's the show. Damn, this guy is fucked up. All right.
All right, bitch. Cheers.